Luke chapter 8, starting at the 43rd verse. We'll be reading from the King James Version. I'm not alone. Yeah, you got my front, my back, both sides. Diggy Hayes, I was fully covered. The fender behind me. Bishop, the songwriter said, I'll see his glory face to face. I see it face to face. My God. Luke chapter 8, King James Version, starting at the 43rd verse. And it reads, and a woman having an issue of blood, 12 years, which had spent all her living upon physicians, neither could be healed of any, came behind him. The New King James Version, Bishop said, she came from behind. She didn't get there when she should have, but it said she came from behind and touched the border of his garment, and immediately, yeah, that's it right there. Immediately her issue of blood stanched. And Jesus said, who touched me? And when all denied, Peter and they that were with him said, Master, the multitude throng thee and press thee, and sayest thou, who touched me? And Jesus said, somebody, yeah, somebody have touched me. For I perceive that virtue is gone out of me. Somebody pulled something out of me. I know a lot of people been touching, but somebody messed around and pulled something. Does anybody want to pull something out of it? It said, when the woman saw that she was not hid, she came trembling and falling down before him, and she declared unto him before all the people. Sometime your issue going to take front row. Yeah, see, sometimes it got to get front row before you to give it to him. She declared unto him before all the people for what cause she told him why she touched him. And not only why she touched him, and how she was healed immediately. And he said unto her daughter, she not a woman with an issue anymore. Y'all see that? Now she was a woman with an issue, now she a daughter. And he said unto her daughter, be of good comfort, for thy faith have made thee not healed but whole. Not delivered but whole. Evangelist Haley, whole is lacking nothing. I am no longer incomplete. It's no longer unsettled. It's whole now. And then he said, now that you're whole, he said, go in peace. Because he's my comfort. Always hold me close. You may be seated. Do you mind if we talk about a little bit this morning? I'm coming, even if I got to come from behind. You might get there before me, but I'm coming. You might be ahead of me right now, but I'm coming. Even if I got to come from behind. Even if my issue has dwelt for a long time, I'm still coming, even if I made up in my mind that I'm still coming, even if I gotta come from behind. Can we talk about it? See, a comeback, I did a little research. A comeback or a come from behind victory is an occurrence of an athlete or sports team engaged in a competition, listen to this, overcoming a substantial disadvantage in points or position. That means it's a long way between me and victory. It's a substantial disadvantage, not just in points where I am, but position. Yeah, are y'all getting that? It said, particularly if this results in the disadvantaged team winning in the end. Oh my God. A come from behind is overcoming a substantial disadvantage. You a long way off in points and position, but you're going to end up winning. I'm coming if I got to come from behind. It's been described as the single greatest aspect of competition. It said that that's what makes the sports world extraordinary. And that's what made my walk with Christ extraordinary, because I'm going to get there even if I got to come from. The deficit may be big now, but I'm coming if I got to come from behind it. And the statistics show that this is when the spectators cheer the most. Oh, y'all hearing me? This is when the spectators cheer the most, when the underdog starts to gain momentum and make a comeback or come from behind. I'm coming even if I gotta come from behind. I ain't even preaching yet. I'm just reading this to you. We're not even there yet. We're not even there. Bishop say in some sports, particularly those that are regulated by a game clock, a timed event. Is that when it seems that you're to a point where it's impossible or it's too great of a disadvantage to overcome in the time you have left. It's been noted that in some sports, a comeback, somebody say a comeback, is possible until the very last second. Bishop, I've seen teams win with 1 second on the clock. I've seen a ball in the air while the buzzer is sounding. And long as that bucket drop, I'm coming if I got to. It said a comeback or a come from behind. I'm coming regardless of what the deficit might be. See here, we this reference is about sports, but how many know that some of us have, some of us are in the process of, and some of us still need to make a comeback in life. I said some of us have. Some of us have completed. Some of us already came from behind. And some of us are in the process right now. And some of us need to, but I came here to tell you that you can still come all the way to the very last second. See, we've gotten in the body of Christ so overtaken by situations and circumstances and setbacks and traumatic events that we feel like it's never going to change. We feel like the deficit is too large. We feel like we've been down first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, but I tell you there is a fourth quarter. And I'm coming, even if I got to come from behind. See, it may feel like you won't make it out of it, but God is the God of a comeback. Is anybody with me? God? I'm living proof standing right here today that God is the God of a comeback. And Evangelist Cooley, if I'm his son and he the God of a comeback, then that means I'm the comeback kid. Are there any comeback kids in the house? If God is the God of a comeback, and that's my daddy's, then I'm the comeback kid. Is anybody, oh, y'all not with me today. Is anybody, see, he'll move on your behalf in such a way that the words say that the last shall be. How many know that's come from behind? He'll move you from the back of the line. To the front, it say that the last shall be first. I believe if we ask David, we would go from the overlooked to the king. Even if he got to come from behind. I believe, Deacon Hazley, if we would have asked Sarah in the Bible that she was barren, but she had to come from behind to become a producer. And it seemed like the time had been too long, but all the way until the very last, I'm coming if I got to come from. But I believe, Bishop, if we ask Moses that he say, I was a stutterer and I had to come from behind to be a spokesperson. I couldn't talk it, but God said, speak it. And I had to come from behind. I believe if we ask Paul that he said, I had to come from behind because, see, I was a Christian persecutor, but God wanted me to be a Christianity promoter. I had to come from behind. I was in a different place, and God brought me from behind, and I'm coming even if I got to come from behind. See, when we stumble upon this text, we don't find a woman with a name. Just an issue. Somebody tell me what she did for a living. Crickets. Somebody tell me her accomplishments in life. But how many know that everybody can tell me her what? Not what she's overcome. Not the things that she's graduated from. Not the things that she's done right, but you can tell me her. See, and I've given this definition before. An issue is an unsettled matter. Ready for a decision. Deacon Haley, do you hear me? An issue is an unsettled matter. Ready. That means it's ready for you to make your mind up. It's ready for you to decide that I've been in this situation too long. I've dealt with this issue too long. It's an unsettled matter. So what that tells me, Bishop, is don't even start as an issue. It's a matter that I let dwell too long. It's when in the military, when we travel, we have TDY, and they say when you get back, you got 3 days to close out your voucher. It said you can't leave your voucher unsettled. That means you have to complete the trip. It's not complete until you settle up with us. You got to go in, and I need your receipts, and I need what you've been through because you got to settle up with us. But an issue is an unsettled thing. It's something that you ain't closed out yet, something that you let stay around too long. And it don't even start as that, but how many know you can magnify your matter into an issue? Oh my God. You can magnify. That means make bigger. You can make your matter big enough to become an issue in your life. Studies show it takes 3 times to make a habit out of something. So you can go from one drink, and that's a matter. And you can let it dwell too long to where now you're in a state of alcoholism because you didn't settle it when it was just a matter. And if you don't settle it when it's a matter, it'll become your issue. And just like in the text, it also become your label. It'll also become how they reference you. That's the woman with the bitter spirit. That's the... Or am I talking to anybody? See, her issue then, she let the matter stay around too long. It dwelled too long, and it became an issue, and not just the issue, but it became the label by which we know her by. How many of us have been defined by our issues? Oh, my God. Oh, that's the couple that got divorced. I'm going to talk about it. Oh, that's the one who had their parent gave them up for adoption, right? That's the adopt. See, and in the body of Christ, when we don't settle it, what we don't see is we walking around and we wearing issues like a name tag. Look at me, I'm the bitter person. Look at me, I'm the broken person. Look at me, I'm the depressed person. If you don't settle it while it's a matter, it'll become your issue. And even in Levitical law, like this text, her issue caused her to be isolated. She was supposed to be cut off from, I think if it was in prison, they call it gen pop. She was supposed to be in solitary confinement, because how many know that not only her issue made her unclean, but in Leviticus it say that if you came around her, yeah, if she come around you with her issue, it make you unclean. And it's stuff that you have to do to get back in the fold. So what I came to tell you, your issue don't just affect you. Oh my God, y'all not here. Your issue don't just affect, you can bring that spirit in here and do something to the atmosphere where we got to fight hard. Oh, y'all not here. Where we gotta fight hard because, see, you brought your issue in here unsettled. And now not only are you unclean, but if you come in contact with me, then I'm unclean. How many parents have projected stuff on their kids? Oh my God. Look, how many divorce couples, look, when my mother and father split, my mother apologized to me about this in my adulthood. But what she said after that, I did something to remind her of my father. And she said, you're going to be just like your. You can put your issues on people. And we project our issues on friends. We project them on family. We project it on co-workers if you don't settle it while it's a matter. It'll become your issue. It said people will be contaminated if they're around you. Hurt people. Hey, you ever got some advice from a broken person? Have you ever asked for encouragement from a depressed person? From a person with a negativity bias? Have you ever had somebody project their issues on you? Tell your neighbor, settle it while it's a matter. Or to become an issue. But see, this is the thing about God right here. He can operate in issues. We can't do it, Bishop, but he bad enough. And he big enough. And he's strong enough. And he capable enough that he can operate within the issues. Where you can't settle it yourself. It said that she spent all her living. I done exhausted myself trying to do this on my own when somebody specializes in what you. I don't have to carry these cares because the word told me to cast them. I don't have to carry these burdens because the word told me to cast them. And I can have peace because it said peace is on him. Jehovah Shalom is. He specialized in it. But see, what we get mixed up in, and this is what causes depression and frustration and people walking out of ministries and all this stuff. Your issue is not designed to push you to the breaking point. Your issue is designed to push you to a turning point. And see, if you confuse that, you'll quit when you only supposed to change direction. Y'all got it. Diggy Haley, if you confuse that, you'll walk out on something that you were supposed to turn around. Oh, yeah. Y'all with? See, it's not designed to push you. See, a turning point is a time which a decisive change in a situation occurs, especially with beneficial results. Y'all didn't get that last part. It's designed, it's a decisive change. Somebody say, make a decision. See, the text says when she heard, she came, and it says she said within herself. She made a decision that what I've been trying so long, this not working for me. I've lost everything I've had. I pushed everybody away that I've known. It's a decisive change. It was a turning point, not a breaking point. And see, when people get that confused, see, a breaking point is a point at which something loses force or validity. That means there's no hope left. It's no value. It's no use. It's no use of me still trying. It's no use of me keep pressing. It's no use of me forgetting the things that are behind me and pressing toward. But see, my question about people that think that at their breaking point is, how can you determine validity if you're not the author or the finisher? You didn't write this story. You can't say it's over in chapter 3. When your book got 32 chapters, you can't say that it's over in chapter 4 because you're not the author and you're not the finisher, so you can't say that it's no longer valid. Because a living epistle, how many know seasons change and pages turn, and it's not designed for you to close the book. You just got to turn the page. How dare you say it's no longer valid if you didn't write it, if you didn't illustrate it, if you're not the author? Tell your neighbor, I'm not going to break, but I am going to turn. What does it say in 2 Chronicles 7:14? It says, if my people which are called by my name shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face. That means look for me. You know, she went on a hunt for him. It said, and look for me. You know, she had to come in the press. You know, she had to get through the multitude, the people that were thronging him. She made up in her mind that I'm going to seek his face. I'm going to go look for him. And did it say and break, or do it say and turn from that wicked ways? I'm not going to break, but I'm going to turn. And then this is what the conditional clause, every if comes with a then. It said, if you do this, it said, then I will hear from heaven. So, and then I would fix your issue. If you turn, I'll fix you. And forgive your sin and heal that means I'll fix it for you. If you do this, if you decide to come to me, if you turn from the issue, if you decide that if you could just make it to me, I'll fix your issue. Oh, look, Coach Reed, in basketball, if a player loses momentum on his dribble, if he pick up his dribble, as long as he don't break contact with the pivot foot, I can turn all day. Oh, y'all not with me. I can turn. It's not a turnover if I can. As long as I don't break contact, I can turn all day. That means I can turn around. I can turn around and not be disqualified. I can turn around and not be counted out. I can turn around and not have a turnover because I can turn all day. As long as I'm not breaking. It's a turnover. I'm not breaking contact. That's when it's a turnover. And that's what interrupts your comeback and your come from behind, because now you got a loss of possession. Whether that's peace, whether that's joy, whether that's sanity, now you got a loss of possession and your deficit is getting bigger. I can turn all day as long as I don't break contact. See, look. In the military, we have an exercise in one of our conditioning drills. I mean, I know we got conditioning drills in life too. And it's called, Bishop, it's called the turn and lunge. The turn and lunge. What it's designed to, see, it's not just an exercise. It's designed to mirror something that you're going to need in combat. And what it teaches you is it gives you and it develops in you the ability to be going one direction. And when that direction is no longer valid, or when that direction is no longer safe for you, it gives you the ability and the proper form to be able to turn fluently and change directions, oh my God, and change direction from the way that you were going, from the way of trying it on your own, from the way of seeking every physician but the physician. But it designs for you to do it, and in the midst of it, it designs you to do it fluently while preventing injury. So it's not just an exercise, it prepares you for combat. How many know that we are at war? It prepares you, but what it does, it gives you the technique and the strategy and the ability to change direction without injury. And it's designed to teach you how to do it fluently. That means it's no longer, it don't even take effort anymore on my part. I can turn easy because I know that the direction that I'm going in right now, this rabbit hole that I'm going down, this hole that I'm putting myself in, that I'm digging deeper, eventually I got to decide that it's time to change direction. After your issue has caused enough damage, after it's caused you to lose enough friends and family and everything that you come in contact with, you're projecting on, eventually you need to change direction. But see what God does, and this is what I love about him, he'll strategically place people along your path and in your life and in your issue and in your circumstance and in vicinity to you that'll cause you to hear something. It said when she heard, it took 12 years for somebody to get in her vicinity to say maybe what you're trying is not working for you. Maybe you lost everything you had. It said that she spent all she had and still wasn't healed. It took 12 years for somebody to say, oh, I think you need to change direction. When she came, she only came because she heard. Faith come by. And hearing about it. If you look at it in the text, that word got a capital W. That means it's not your word. Yeah, it's not your word. It's not something that you can duplicate and you can mimic. It come by the word. Not your word, not your opinion, not your projection, but it come by the word. And so until somebody hears not your word, but the word from you, because faith come by. Let me show you how powerful hearing is. How many people this week have seen on social media, heard from a friend about Popeye's new chicken sandwich? Every social media site that I'm on, they've been telling me to go taste and see. That it good. My wife came home last week. She walked in the house. She said, babe, you try that new? She said, babe, you try that new Popeye chicken sandwich? I said, what you? She said, I heard it's good. Y'all not with me. He said, I heard, I don't know if it's the breading or the flour or the grease or the sauce or the bun, but I heard that it was good. Somebody told me that I should try. Oh, y'all not with me. Somebody told me that they tried it, and it was good to them. So I should try it. They've tasted and seen, and now they want me to taste and see because she heard about it. What are people hearing from you? I believe the Popeye staff is just full of evangelists. They done spread the word around the country in about a week and a half about how good it is. And see, if we can keep that same energy for the things of God, oh my God, are y'all with me? If we would tell folks, you just gotta try it. Oh my God. Is anybody, my mind used to be all over the place, but you just gotta try the mind regulator. I've already partook of this. And now I'm a witness. And now I'm trying to tell you, you just gotta try. He never failed me yet, Bishop. You gotta try. He got me out of holes I put myself in. You just gotta try. If we could keep that same, Popeye's got evangelists, but what about the church? How many people keep quiet on their job about the goodness and I'm not gonna call y'all out today. We good. We're not good. If we could keep that same energy, I've already tasted and seen that the Lord is good. Guess what? Even if I gotta wait in line for it, Bishop, they started to try to convert Chick-fil-A fans into Popeye's fan. I know you've had something, but I've tasted something better. I know this long. I know you've been loyal to this, but I've tasted something better. They're trying to convert. And if we would try to convert, It don't take 12 years to get rid of it. I got something that I tried, and I stand behind the product. I have something that I tried, and I'm determined I'm going to get it even if I'm at the back of the line. I determine even if I got to wait, and if it's cars in front of me, if it's people in front of me that they need what I'm trying to get to. Because look, watch this. Jairus got to Jesus first. So he was on his way. But she said, I know you're busy, Jesus, but I'm coming. Even if I got to come from. Even if Jairus is in front of me in line, I'm coming to pull something from you. See, and this is, oh my God, this is it right here. Not only did she hear something that made her find Jesus and track him down, but that wasn't good enough. She had to put her hands on it. Bishop, I've heard about victory long enough. It's time I put my hand. I've heard about peace long enough, but now I got to put my hands on it. I've been sick. I heard about healing long enough, but now I know I got to just put my hands on it. Look, even if I just get the hint, I just got to put my hands on it. I just wonder what she heard. Oh, my God. 12 years of getting it wrong. She heard something to say, not just finding, but I got to put my... I don't want to just walk toward victory. I got to put my hands on it. I don't want to just walk toward peace. I don't want to just hear about peace, but I've heard something enough to know I just got to get my hands on some peace. I heard about breakthrough long enough. I got to put my hands on it. And if you can just put your hands on it. What she's showing us, if you can just put your hands on it. It didn't matter that it had been 12 years once she got her hands on it. Because you know what? Let me hold this podium. Because the text said the 12 years was irrelevant because when she touched him, it said immediately. Straight away. Instantaneously. Promptly. Directly. Now. Presently. Pronto. Right away. Right now. Right off. Immediately. Straight off. And straight away. Am I the only one that needs something immediate today? Oh, my God. I know I'm not the only one who needs no more delays. I know I'm not the only one that say, all right, let me get to the front of the line. I need some things done immediately. But see, just like this woman, we can do the same thing because one day, bless your name, Jesus. One day, eventually is going to meet up with God immediately. One day you'll come from behind eventually. Your slow progress, your turning point, your turnaround, one day that's going to come in contact. Bishop, I know if I keep walking, eventually I'm going to come in the press and eventually he going to turn and I'll see his glory face. When you'll eventually meet his immediately. Oh, y'all not with me today. When you'll eventually meets his immediately every hurt. Yeah. Every bad day. Every failed attempt. Every bandage you put on it. Every stitch you try to stitch it up. When you eventually meets his immediately, it say that that's gone. When my eventually, oh bless your name. When it meet every shortcoming, every issue, every storm that you've been through, when my eventually, Bishop, meets his immediately, all that's void. See, it say that the flow of blood, it say it stinks. That means the flow of whatever the issue was is done now. Oh, y'all not getting that. The flow of whatever it was or however long it's been, it said when you eventually meets his immediately, that's gone now. Oh my God. Tell your neighbor it's gone now. Ah. And see, this is what I love about it. And that's why I love the word immediately and instantaneously and straight away, because see, natural means and natural method. I've been to the doctor this week. And what he told me is, hey, you need some recovery time. I'm going to give you something for it. But you gradually, you can ease yourself back. Right now, do it at your own pace and distance until you can get back into. See, natural means and natural healing and stuff like that, there's a recovery period. But see, when my eventually bishop meet, his immediately, that's gone now. I'm not just healed, I'm whole now. So I'm not missing anything now. I don't need to take medication now. I don't need to try anything. I don't need Dr. Phil or Dr. Doolittle, because it said my eventually, his immediately is gone now. Because see, God don't take as long to get you out of it as you took yourself to get into it. And I thank him that it didn't take him as long to get me out of as long as it took for me to leave my matter unsettled and turn to an issue. It don't matter that it's been 12 years, my issue's gone now. It don't matter if I was blind from birth, I can see now. It don't matter if I've been 38 years at the gate, I'm healed now. And look, when it said that he was lame in his feet in Acts chapter 3, it said that he not only just got up, but he said he started to leap. He started to leap and he started to walk and he started to run and he followed them in the house. Because he heard something. He heard him tell him, hey, silver and gold I have none, but let me tell you about this. Let me tell you something that's better than this Popeye chicken sandwich that you're asking me for money for. Because it took 38 years, but eventually, you ran upon your immediate season. Y'all not with me on that? Your eventually met immediate. And he didn't never have to take baby steps. He got up and started to leap and started to run. Every one of us in here had to learn to walk. That immediate work added all that in. See, what it does is take the delay out. And it take the time frame out. And it take the limits off. And it's complete and there's nothing lacking because now you're whole. Oh my God, it don't take him as long. And it said, Jesus said, who touched me? And the disciple said, bro, it's all these people out. Like we in a parade, we in a crowd, like yeah, it's standing room only. Now what it is it? But see, Jesus knows. A touch of faith is not an inadvertent touch. It's not a brush up against. It's I came to get something from. I came to pull something. I'm at a desperate point now. So it tells me that faith feels good to Jesus. Faith. See, there's a level of faith that'll move God on your behalf. You got to realize all he talk about all the time is I'm about my Father's business. And he was on his way to be about his Father's business, but he said, hold on, I felt something. Somebody got here determined enough to pull something. Somebody has been in it so long but now they decide I'm coming even if I got to come from. Because I got to get my hands on it. He could feel that this touch was somebody on their last leg, on their last shot, on their last chance, on their last, somebody desperate for it. Somebody that's done with that issue of dealing with them. Because if you don't deal with it, it'll deal with you. And if you don't settle it, it'll start to speak for you. Y'all not with me. It'll start to speak for you. And he said, who touched me? Because I felt some all of y'all are in here touching me and brushing up against me, but nobody but one person came to pull It was enough to call them to turn around. It was enough for him to turn and lunge. It was enough for him to pivot. it was enough. And see, the thing about it is, it said that she realized that she was no longer hidden. How many of you know that your issue can cover up who you are? If you let it stay around long enough, it'll hide you. And after he touched him, it said she realized that she was no longer hidden. Because he can see past that issue. Y'all just gotta try it. He can see your issue will cover you up. Why do you think we got introduced to her issue? It had covered her up. It hid her name. It hid her accomplishments in life. It hid every good thing that she had ever done. Everything that she had overcome, she was hidden. And it said after one touch, and immediately it said that she realized, even in the crowd, I'm no longer hidden. What he did in me is no longer consuming me. It's no longer my name tag. It's no longer my label, because somebody had finally seen something different than her past. It took Jesus to look through. Because what did the Bible say? He don't see as we see. All we see is we've been saying, it's 12 years, you still? You've been to every doctor in the... You still got this issue? After all of this time? I had a conversation earlier this week with a friend of mine that I owed an apology to. Because I was reading about the demoniac, and they said, I am legion. And so, Jesus, what do you have to do with us? He said, don't kill us, just cast us into swine. But the swine, with the same issue, killed themselves. And a lot of times, we judge people by the way that they deal with stuff. You still got that? You still cutting yourself? It said that he would throw himself down and try to change. I said, is that how you dealing with it? But I had to realize that some stuff, if I was dealing with the same stuff that somebody else was dealing with, I would have took myself. So I owe somebody an apology, because I'm like, yeah, you still. But if we be transparent enough, we could deal with something that some people have dealt with in their life. They may not be dealing with it the way that we would, but the same issue in the one man took out many swine. So that means I was handling it a certain way, but it took all y'all out. Don't judge people's issue because it's different from yours. Because the issue is the issue, and sin is sin. And you can steal a pencil from the hospital. People do it all the time, don't they? When they sign the sign-in sheet, they put the pen in it. That's the same thing as murder. An issue is an issue. And sin is sin. But what it caused her to do is she ended up having to tell her story in front of people. And some people haven't came yet because you ain't told your story. You can't keep your mouth closed in testimony circles. Because she didn't come until she heard something. And what I realized in life is a lot of the stuff that I've been through, it wasn't even about me. Later in life, it was a witnessing tool to somebody that's going through what I'm. I believe that Bishop, she was on her last doctor visit. The last one in the yellow pages. And I believe that if I could have been in the room, that she paid her copay. And she sat down in the lobby for the last time, or her last leg. And I believe it was some saints in the doctor's office that day. And I believe they were having an open conversation about the goodness of, oh, y'all not with me. And I believe that one person said, when I think of his goodness, and all he done for me, and I think that person number 2 said, I can attest to that because I searched all over. Couldn't find nobody. I look high, and low, still couldn't find nobody. And I believe that right at that moment, over the speaker, the music that they play in the doctor's office, I believe that Marvin Sapp came over and said, never would have made it. And I believe, Bishop, after she paid her copay, that she turned out of the doctor's office. And she said, now I know I just got to get my hands on him because it's something that I heard that I just gotta try. And see, that day that was supposed to be her breaking point, her last doctor visit, her last attempt at trying, her last attempt at trying to get rid of this issue turned into her turning point. And see, what the reason that she had to share her story, because it's important that you start the cycle of faith over. I believe there was somebody standing around and thronging and pressing Jesus, and even Jairus. Because Jairus was waiting. He said, my daughter dying. And some of us say, God, I'm just asking you for one thing. This person at the altar, this person that done it, they wait for this long. I just need one thing. And he had to wait on it. But I believe that he was at the testimony service. I believe that there were many people there who were on their last leg. Many people there who felt like everybody's made it but me. Everybody's got delivered but me. Everybody shook their snake but me. And then they were there. And see your testimony, it triggers somebody else's coming. That's why you can't let the enemy put a hand over your mouth. How many people been at work and just wanted to say something, you're like, this ain't the right? What if that's preventing somebody from being on their last leg, on their breaking point? And you let the enemy put his hand over your... What she did, she shared it openly. And she shared her story. And I believe, Bishop, when they gave her the microphone, I believe when she came in, she told him, you know what? I heard something, and I decided, you know what? It's been 12 years, but that's okay, because I'm coming if I got to come from... I'm coming. See, Jairus had Jesus' attention, but I'm coming even if I got to come from behind. I'm getting my healing. I've been down this long, but I'm going to get it even if I got to come from behind. I may have not graduated with my class, but I'm getting this degree if I got to come from behind. My marriage will work, even if it's got to come from... My mind will be renewed, even if it's got to come from... Guess what? I'm going to shake this issue, even if I got to come from behind it. They say in the sports world, there's no victory. Statistics show that people would rather see a comeback victory than a blowout. So I made up in my mind that I'm going to run on and see what even if I got to come from future Dr. Collins and get that PhD, even if she got to. And I believe if I walked over and talked to Evangelist Cooley, and she was telling her story in front of people, she said, I had to come from behind being a teen mother. And now I'm a married. Now I'm anointed. Now I'm a demon-slaying evangelist. But I'm here because I came, even though I had to come from. Because one day you're eventually going to meet him. And the day that happens, ooh, Jesus, The day that happened, the heartache is over. Uh, the pain is over. The defeat is over. The doors of failure have been. And I'm walking through the doors of success, even if I got to come from. Uh, that low self-esteem is over. that defeat is over. That revolving door in your life is over because you'll eventually, it's going to meet us immediately as long as you don't break, but this downward spiral that we've been on in life. I'm coming out of it, even if I got to come from. I'm not going. Bishop Jakes preached a message said, "Don't die in the nest." This is not it for me. This is not it for you. And you can come from behind and still get your hands on victory. You can still get your hands on the healing. And as long as you don't break, the race is not given to the order, but those that what? 12 years, 38 years, 2 years, 2 days, 2 weeks, it don't matter. If you 2 days behind or 2 decades behind, I'm coming even if I got to come back from a hole I dug myself into. When I'm in my own way, I'm coming even if I got to. And I believe it will get that in our spirit. We'll never quit another. We'll never give up another. I'm not losing any more ground. It's forward from right now. We've been losing too much ground because we think we lost validity of force. That's a breaking point. It's just time for you to make a decision. It's time for you to make a decision on that unsettled matter. How much you gonna let it cost you? How many people is you gonna let it push away? But you got to make up in your mind that I'm coming. I made it to this pulpit. I believe it if I walked up on the pit that Joseph was in, Bishop. He said, I'm getting to the palace even if I got to come. I believe when Samuel was saying, oh, this must be him. And David was in the backyard, overlooked, hidden. I believe David was out there when he was talking to the sheep. He said, I'm going to be king even if I got to come from. Even if I got to come from behind. I'm going to make it to my destiny. I'm going to make it to my promise even if I got to come from behind. Tell your neighbor I'm coming. Even if I got to come from behind.